What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. So if you're my old viewers, you probably have seen one of my old videos that back then I actually have done the antiderivative of the trigonometric functions and as well as the antiderivative of the square of trigonometric functions. And of course, when I said that, I mean the 6 basic trigonometric functions that we actually have used most of the time, which are of course sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, and secant and cosecant. So today we're going to try to do the following. We're going to bring it to the third power, but in fact the third power is actually easier than the second power. Why? Here is the warm-up. First, let's take a look at how we can integrate or find the antiderivative of sine to the third power of x with respect to dx, of course. So what we can do is we're going to split the sine to the third power into sine to the first power times sine square of x dx, and we're going to use the trig identity, which is sine square is equal to 1 minus cosine square. So after we do that, we can now try to multiply the sine of x into each term inside the parentheses and distribute it to get sine of x times dx minus the integral of sine of x times cosine square of x. So for the first one, it's very obvious that we can just take the integral, which gives us negative cosine of x. For the second one, we just need to do a u sub here for u equals cosine of x. And of course, if we do that, the derivative of u or du will just be negative sine of x dx. And therefore, we now have the integral of u squared du. And if we take the integral or the antiderivative of that, we will get 1/3 of u to the third power, where u again is just cosine of x. So we actually get 1/3 of cosine to the third power of x. And then don't forget, we need to end up with a plus c. And that's it. So for cosine to the third power or cosine cube, we can actually do a similar thing. We are going to break cosine to the third power into cosine of x times cosine square of x. Of course, we have the dx. And then with the trigonometric identity, we'll rewrite cosine square into 1 minus sine square of x. And then distributing the cosine of x into each term inside parentheses, we will get cosine integral of cosine of x dx minus the integral of cosine of x times sine square of x dx. And again, for the first term, is actually very fundamental. Hopefully you all remember it is just a sine of x. And then for the second term, we're going to do a u sub again. Now this time, of course, we're going to take u to be our sine of x, such that when we take the derivative of u, we'll get du is equal to positive cosine of x dx. So after we do a u sub, we actually get negative still of the integral of u squared du. And again, if we take the antiderivative, we will get negative 1/3 of u to the third power. And again, u in this case is sine of x. So we have sine to the third power. And last but not least, don't forget the plus c. That's it. So this is just a warm-up. In the next video, we're going to continue to see how we are going to deal with tangents to the third power and cotangents to the third power. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.